AIM-listed ECR Minerals is developing 2 prime gold exploration assets at Bailieston and Creswick in Australia's Victoria Goldfields. It also has exploration licenses granted for several other gold assets in Australia, along with a recently formalised 25% stake in a gold asset in the Philippines. In the middle of 2 intensive drilling campaigns, the company made 3 strategic property acquisitions within its prime licensed territories in Victoria to help fast-track land access and provide worker accommodation. Director and head geologist Adam Jones updated us on progress in November last year, and he joins us again today to bring us up to speed on the latest developments. Adam, Happy New Year to you. How are you today?
Happy New Year, Alan. And yes, I'm good, and Happy New Year to everybody out there listening.
Thank you.
Yeah, it's hitting the ground running again, and here we go for 2022.
Indeed. Back in November, we talked about Craig Brown's vision for the company before his untimely death, along with the legacy he left behind. A few weeks after we spoke, ECR announced it had received approval for license EL 6907, which of course is strategically placed between the historical Ballarat Eastern Arena goldfield and the current Creswick exploration license area. And this is something Craig always viewed as a key step in developing Creswick. What's the latest on this? And I'm going to bring up a slide here with the license area shown.
Yes, so EL 6907, which is, as you can see on the slide there, on the left-hand side, is located just north of the main city of Ballarat, which is known for its historic gold mining activity, and currently still has an active gold mine operating there. ECR applied for 2 tenements in the area there, and they've been sitting there for at least 2 years, waiting on the final approval. And on the 26th of November, we finally got the go-ahead on one of them, which is the one as you see on the screen there, immediately to the north of Ballarat. And why it's strategic is that it still it hosts a fair strike length of that Dimmick shale trend there, which we've been targeting, which we think is one of the primary sources for the alluvial gold in that area.
Okay. And we spoke previously about the mineral chutes the drill team had discovered at Creswick. Would you expect to find similar geological anomalies in this new license area and, of course, across the Dimmick's main shale?
Yes. Yeah. So the geology there is all the same or very similar to what we have been seeing in the exploration license 6184, which is to the north of the map there. It's all the same geology. We expect the same type of mineralization there, and that is coarse nuggety gold, sporadic and spotty, but in high grade shoots. So one of our main focuses will be to do some more soil sampling testing, rock chip sampling, and just to try and define where these shoots come near the surface. And then, we'll follow them up with a drill program.
Okay. And of course, that announcement also included a new license area within the Tambo region. I understand you've done some work on Tambo recently, Adam. Can you tell us about Tambo and the progress you've made?
Yeah, so our northerly license there, 7484, as you see on the bottom right there of the figure there, which is our Tambo North license. That was approved on the same day as one of our Creswick licenses, and it contains the catchment of the Swifts Creek goldfield and the Tambo River areas there. And just doing some basic desktop research there, we're already seeing that there's been a lot of significant past exploration work with stream sediment and soil sampling in the region there, but nothing has really been drill tested, so to speak. It's looking like there's an affinity for a lot of base metals there. So some of the old reports I've had a look at, we're talking about intrusion-related sort of mineralization. Like we've got molybdenum, gold, silver, copper, all those type of metals. So it's a bit of a a blank canvas, so to speak, really. And we'll have to go through all the old reports there and just follow up what we'll do there going forward later in the year.
Okay. Shortly before Christmas, ECR announced drilling updates on holes BH3, DD10 and DD11 at the Bailieston HR3 prospect. The board said that the results had exponentially grown your understanding of the Maori anticline and the extent and types of mineralization. Can you talk us through this development? I'm bringing up a slide of the drilling sections.
Yeah, so the section you see there is from our first 3 holes we've drilled through the upper part of the Maori anticline. So the Maori anticline itself is just a south plunging, broad, open fold system on the HR3 goldfield there. Earlier in 2020, we identified this fold through some space drilling there. And so it led us to drill in the upper part here, which sort of correlates spatially pretty well with a couple of historic percussion holes done in the 1980s there. So we wanted to just test the theory to see, just to see what's going on there and which way, is the shoots, the high grade shoots, are they associated with this anticline. So as reported there, our first drill hole through there, we've got got a pretty good result there. I think it was 28, broadly about 28 grams a ton there. Right, yeah. A lot of visible stibnite, which is a sulfide of antimony for all the listeners. So it's sort of a key pathfinder when we're in the zone of the gold mineralization. Since then, we've drilled at least 6 more holes actually into this part of the anticline there, by varying by drilling on different azimuths, and mostly just to track this shoot and just see how far it extends, and then just try and see if we can build out a small resource on it. What we've found out though is the what causes these high grade shoots, or what of our understanding at the moment is that where the peak of the Maori anticline is, and where it intersects like a northeast striking structure, which is known as the hard-up reef. It's sort of created this dilational jog zone there, and so you're getting these sort of dilational quartz and sulfide zones, and so that's essentially what we've drilled through there, and so we're just trying to expand on that and just see how big this dilational zone goes.
Okay. And of course, this drilling update was followed a few days later with some further soil sampling results from HR3, which again gave you more information and increased your understanding of the area, and of course revealed that dilational jog model. So I'm going to bring up the slide of the soil sampling. So can you take us through this, and also, of course, the implications for Bailieston and HR3 in light of these developments?
Yeah, so we submitted some more soil samples there a month or so ago, and we got the results just before Christmas there. And this is the resulting soil map there. As you can see, we've identified 4 soil anomalies there: A, B, C, and D. The focus is across the central part of the HR3 goldfield, which is known as the Scales Reef, Dan Gender's reef line. But one of the key things that we've potentially identified there is the with the follow up from the Maori reef and the hard-up reef, what we know from BH3, DD 009 and 011, from all that information there, it's we're sort of potentially thinking that there could be a similar dilational zone around anomaly A, as you can see on the map there. And so we're actually currently we've set up the drill rig starting today, and so we'll be breaking ground there in the next day or so, and I've going to put initially 3 holes into that sort of zone there, just to see if we've got similar geology, and and hopefully we'll get another dilational jog there. And so what that means is that if it is true there's another dilational jog there, then we're starting to unlock the mystery, so to speak, of where all these little high-grade shoots are in the HR3 goldfield. So it's going to really help us target any future drilling. Going forward, after drilling anomaly A, I'll be moving up to around anomaly B and anomaly C there, just to test that out as well. And we'll update the viewers the progress there.
Excellent. Okay. There are still, of course, plenty more assay results to come from the core shed team. What's the schedule looking like for Q1?
So we've just over the Christmas period, it obviously slowed down a little bit, but the lab was still just ticking along. I have received a couple more final assay results for a couple of the drill holes we completed back in December. These are actually results for some of the broad scale drilling I was doing across the goldfield with the contract drill rig. And one of them is actually quite exciting to have a look at, and I'll be working on that in the next week, and interpretation and all that, and we'll update the viewers on that, and and I'll have a looking forward statement, and be following that up. So it's looking, it's early days, so to speak, but it's starting to look pretty exciting. We're starting now to see some common geological features here, and that we can, it's a bit like a aha sort of, so to speak, moment.
Of course. Okay. ECR also now owns 3 properties, of course, at Bailieston, Creswick and Sebastian, just up the road from Bendigo. I know property prices have gone through the roof in the area. How do you expect to utilise the properties and land this year?
So our main property, which is being used at the moment, which is our Sebastian property, which is about 15 kilometres north of the core shed, our base in Bendigo. That's housing all the staff and for accommodation. We store some of the equipment there too. So that's saving a lot of significant costs there. One of the decisions to do that was for the longevity of the project during 2021 and going forward as well. And as you say, because the property prices here in regional Victoria in the last since COVID pretty much has just been skyrocketing. So from an investment point of view, it's you can't really sort of look back on it. It's a positive thing. The other property, which is at Creswick at Springmount, which actually contains some of this Dimmick's main shale trend. We'll probably be doing some work on there sort of later on this year. And we'll be using that as a bit of a base for when we're doing work there. And it actually contains a lot of old gold workings, including an adit, a tunnel going the hill, which looks quite interesting to investigate. And we're in a good position because we've got our own drill rig, so we can, and being on private property, it just makes permitting so much easier for that. The third property, which is the one over at Bailieston, which is near where we're currently drilling over at HR3 area, we're currently using that as our laydown yard and for our drill rig and storage at the moment.
Excellent. Okay. Now I know the company are making progress in the search for a new chief executive to replace Craig. In the interim, what other milestones should shareholders be looking for?
We're still currently searching for a COO, going forward this year, we're currently putting together a bit of more of a budget, and now with these new exploration tenements online now, so that's sort of changed a few things around to plan a few sort of grassroots things there and to get some anomalies to follow up. I'll be probably over the next 2 months, I'll be finishing off in HR3 with the current phase of drilling, drill some of these anomalies, and obviously if we find anything more, we'll just do a few more into it just to keep it going. And then in the meantime, we're actually making preparations to get onto Blue Moon, which is on the same EL as the Bailieston property, which is EL 5433. We've finally made some progress there with access to the landowner there, and so we want to do some first stage pass soil sampling and rock chips, and then follow up with some diamond drilling in there. So so that's exciting. So that's one thing to look forward to in the first couple of quarters this year. And then I'm expecting to then move our operations back down to Creswick, and especially after winter time, because it's not a very good place to be drilling during winter because it's so wet there. Yeah, we'll be moving down there and exploring on the new tenement, and also following up on the current tenement where we've been drilling this year, or the year just gone.
Good. Okay. Well, despite the tragic end to 2021, ECR certainly looks set to hit the ground running here at the start of 2022. Our thanks to Adam Jones for joining us today from Melbourne. We look forward to speaking with you again very soon, Adam. And once again, a happy new year to you and all of your team.
Thank you, Alan. I look forward to speaking to you soon.